Hello and happy Friday. Welcome to Boilermaker Lounge. I'm Sam Strunger, joined by Grant Flora. Grant, uh, it's a good Friday. It's always great to be Friday.
Oh yeah, it's been another one of those weeks, just a little bit tiring
Hmm.
and whatnot. So good to get here and get back and talking more about Purdue hoops and um, finish the week off with a bang. Week 1 of August. Can you
Yeah,
believe it?
we're what, not including August, one more month without any official basketball stuff.
Right? Yeah,
That's it.
we're
That's it.
we're getting there. Yeah, we're
Now, don't
getting
get me
there.
wrong, we have the most of August to take and all of September, but we're almost there.
Yeah, we
We're right on the cusp.
and college football will get going soon, and
It will
well,
help
at least
speed things along, right?
yeah, there'll be something to kind of divert the attention for a second, and then it'll help us get through September and
That's
October
right.
months. But with school getting going in the month of August, we'll have some students getting on campuses, and it'll be fall basketball time for the Purdue Boilermakers. So
Yeah.
um, summer ball is officially wrapped up.
Yeah, we got yeah, like you said, summer ball just wrapped up. There are still tournaments that were going on this last weekend, but going forward, they're kind of it's now getting ready for your next season of whatever basketball you play at the college or high school level, depending on like AAU leagues and stuff. But uh, Saturday, last Saturday, the Boilermakers had their annual alumni game at Mackey Arena, a free event for fans who wanted to go watch. But Robbie Hummel and the Black team, 91-79 victory over Gold. Uh, the one thing that I liked about this is the setting of it is very much as a playful monster Mackey Arena feeling because you still get it loud. The crowd still explodes, but it's more of a fun. There's no paint crew. There's things like that. But Grant, over 70 former Purdue players returned for the event. Coach Keady was the coach on one side, Coach Painter on the other, and Coach Painter was mic'd up for the game. Really a nice look in on, even though it was a playful time, you could see Coach Painter really doing his coaching.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. The roster for that, what the oldest guy was played Purdue basketball in what was it, the 50s or 60s?
Yeah, our buddy Walter Jordan also was there. He said I believe it was his last, but he was playing one more time.
Hey, that's like that was just really cool to see guys from what 50s and 60s all the way up to
Yeah.
guys that graduated just a few years ago. So,
Well, the whole
um,
returning class from 24 was back. Zach Eady,
yeah,
Gillis. Oh shoot, First
Mort
was back. I
Morton
think,
was in
and
there.
Morton. Thank you. Yeah. So
Yeah,
like all of them were back. That was pretty cool too.
yeah. So not even all those guys played, but they still showed up and were there. Like it was just a really fun time. It kind of helps separate, I think, the Purdue program from all the other college programs out there. Just you bring all those guys back and have an event like that, and then all the fans and the people that came to watch the
Hmm.
game. Like from what I heard, the entire lower bowl was full, and you still
Yeah.
had some of those upper stands with some people. So like they had a great turnout. A lot of fun for those guys to get back together. Jawan Johnson was a powerhouse,
Yep.
Robbie Hummel too, and on the black team.
Robbie
So
Hummel,
fun to see some,
34 points.
yeah, like some of these guys were playing really, really well and still can play really good basketball, and some of them, of course, having a little bit more fun. But yeah, a really fun event overall. One of those events that just kind of makes you feel good about Purdue.
Yeah, it was nice to be able to see some I mean, and it's just the highlights that I got to see, but running up and down on Mackey, that's always a fun thing to see. But then also to see these guys who have that connection to Purdue enough to keep coming back for those, a good portion of these players played for Coach Painter. A good portion of these players played for Coach Keady. Some didn't, but like they come back because this is a family feel to a program. Like once you're in it, you're there. You're in it.
Yeah, a lot of these guys too hadn't been back to Mackey, I don't think, in several years. So,
Mm-hmm.
that was another big thing too. But yeah, it was. You're talking about guys that played together for 4 years of basketball in some cases, and coming back together just to hang out and to compete a little bit. But it's one of those things where when you're on a team with somebody in a sport, it's just kind of a different bond. They're not necessarily the people that have been your best friends for your entire life. Maybe they don't even like stay in touch as much anymore. Like not every teammate is going to stay in contact with everybody
Sure.
they've ever played with. You know
Right.
what I mean? But when you get back together, you still have that bond, and it's a special, different sort of feeling, kind of like when you go to war with each other
Yeah.
to go and take on the other team. So um, it's just like I said, it's a special thing, especially when you play at Purdue and you have that culture, and especially in the last few years with all the transfers, Purdue's maintained that. Um, we talk about it all the time here on the channel, but like they really have a special thing there, and the alumni game is one of the ways you can see that.
And Purdue's not the only school that does an alumni game, and I'm sure that there are schools that have good uh, turnouts with the fact of who comes back from the past and whatnot. But it just seems like it's pretty impressive that you've got so many generations of player coming back to celebrate what is happening at West Lafayette, and now it gets even better because I know I texted you the picture that I found on X. I don't remember who put it out. It might have been Purdue Athletics or Purdue basketball, but it was a picture of Coach Lusk with his hand on Omar Meyer's shoulder, just pointing at the crowd there on alumni during the alumni game. He had to have been telling him it gets a lot louder. It gets a lot louder, and it can be brutal on other teams.
Yeah, it almost was like a little warm up, like
Right.
a little teaser, of what it's going to be like in the winter time. So I think especially for guys like Oscar Clough and Omer Meyer, the new faces in the program, to see that and to experience that before they even have played a full year at Purdue, goes a long way towards even just making them feel comfortable and making them feel confident that the choice that they made in going to Purdue was
Yep.
correct. And that makes a big difference as they now try and take on the large task of competing for championships, especially the championship March Madness. So it's going to be really interesting. It's going to be really fun just to see those new guys kind of come into the fold in the mix with the old faces of Fletcher, Braden, Traycoff, and Wren. Yeah, I think this is a really one of those underappreciated things that you wouldn't know as much about Purdue if you weren't avid followers like what we are. But the kind of things that separate them as a program.
You made the statement that it kind of validates their decision. Just and we're talking about the alumni game, like for them to come out and see, like, my goodness, they come out like this for the alumni game, and they're accepting, they love you already. You haven't done anything but stand out there for the alumni game. You're not even participating in the alumni game, and you're getting this love, and you see the adulation and just like the celebration of the players that are playing in the game, and you're like, man, I feel like like you said, this completely validates my decision coming here. And yeah, they're going to be competing for championships, but like, oh my goodness, this is really seriously, now all of a sudden they're part of a culture. And for a culture like Purdue to say, you know what, we want you to join this, that right there probably gives them that feel of value as well. As long as I put my work in, I'm gonna be loved by all these people.
Yeah, it's like a mutual choosing. Like the
Yeah,
Purdue fan base and the Purdue coaches and the culture and everything, it chose guys like Omer Meyer and Oscar Clough, but they also chose Purdue. Omer Meyer, we've heard now, has had offers from Auburn and Duke for good NIL money to go and play there and would have had a pretty good role at both of those
sure.
programs. Chose to go to Purdue anyway. and compete for a national championship alongside Braden Smith, which is a great opportunity, but it also means a reduced role for him compared to what he would be at Duke and Auburn, most likely. So he had to choose that and choose Purdue over those types of opportunities. Purdue also kind of chose Omer Meyer because, like you said, they wouldn't have to love him right away. He hasn't even played a minute of actual basketball yet,
Right.
as far as a game. And yet the culture already loves him. The fan base already loves him. And the same goes for Clough and the rest of the guys. So it's like the program is choosing these players and choosing to love these players. The players chose to come to this program, and it kind of just creates this special connection.
Yeah. And you mentioned Oscar Clough as well. Our buddy Dustin Schutte wrote an article about Oscar Clough and Clough explaining the reason behind committing to Purdue rather than some of the other schools that were courting him very quickly as the early in the portal days. He said, Schutte said it didn't. Clough got a little taste of the Purdue basketball experience on Saturday as the program hosted the alumni game. It confirmed what Clough, confirmed to Clough that he made the right choice because he said the culture, the family, as you guys saw over the weekend, it was insane how many people came back. When somebody asked him about why he picked Purdue, he said it's a family built place. I think once you see that, why would you want to go anywhere else? And I think that's a great statement about what the Coach Painter and the staff and the players year in and year out have established for what we've got going on right now at Purdue.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Clough to me, first of all, he just seems like the type of guy that would choose the family program.
Right,
Like he's
right.
just he's that kind of a guy, and one of the reasons why we love that he's coming to Purdue. But yeah, it's really rare to have that kind of a culture and that kind of a feeling with a team that is playing consistently as good a basketball as any program in the country.
Yeah.
When you get that combination, I think Clough's exactly right. Why do you choose to go anywhere else unless you're chasing an NIL situation and you want to maximize your money? That's the only thing that would maybe take you somewhere else. And not that you wouldn't get a good NIL deal at Purdue, but maybe BYU, who seems to be made of money, is gonna
Yeah.
figure out a way to to give you something. But uh, if you're looking for the best experience of what you're going to get at a college basketball program, I don't think you can compete really with Purdue.
Yeah, and that a quick paragraph from Schutte's article says, yes, Clough understands that Purdue is a contender for the national championship in 2025-26. That's another reason why he wanted to spend his last year in West Lafayette. But the culture, atmosphere, and connectivity are the reasons why he committed so quickly. And then it says, Clough, the family aspect is so big here. It's great. So yeah, he's bought in on the behind the scenes and hey, as long as we're doing it our jobs, we're going to be successful, and we're all in this together. I don't think there's the number one and the top and the bottom of that roster are equally valued amongst each other, and I think that's really huge.
Right, like don't forget Clough originally scheduled a visit to Iowa State, and it looked like
Right.
he was kind of trending that direction. Then Purdue actually got a visit before the Iowa State visit was scheduled. He goes to Purdue and commits before he even goes to Iowa State. Like that's how big of an impact Purdue made on him that he didn't even have to go to the
Yeah.
Cyclones
Yeah.
and check that out just to be sure. He already knew he was going to Purdue. And I know we talked a little bit about too. Iowa State had picked up another transfer that might have filled that same position they were
Mm-hmm.
looking for with Clough, but either way, like he did not have a whole lot of doubt when he chose Purdue. It was quick, and he seems at this point in time to still be really happy with that decision.
Yeah, and we talk about the culture and how it has grown the way it has in the Matt Painter tenure. There was an interesting article also on Purdue Boilermakers on SI. Um, Talked about Matt Painter. Talked on a podcast here recently. I want to find it so I get a Starstruck podcast, and he was talking about how he got to where he is now at Purdue, and he said that he hated Purdue. He was an IU fan. He's from Muncie originally. He's an IU fan, but he didn't pick Purdue. He picked Gene Keady, and I think that is another thing. Is right there's the cornerstone of what we're experiencing with the Purdue program. Right there's the cornerstone. Coach Keady set things right. Did he win national? He didn't make it to a Final Four, and it breaks my heart that is the case. As a coach, he never made it, but he set the culture way back in 1980, the 80 season, 80-81 season, I believe was his first year. He started setting the tone right then for what we're going through now, because Coach Painter then chose Purdue because of him, and then chose his coaching style to not mirror but take a lot of those same attributes and those same values and incorporate it even further into what we're going into.
Yeah, I mean, it's a perfect example. For one thing, I don't hear a whole lot of Purdue fans that say they end up going to IU because they chose, their coach or something like that. So I
We
says a
don't
lot
hear
about
about it. Let's say it that way.
right. I mean, that's not to say it doesn't exist, but yeah, it's
There's no
it
proof that
definitely.
Sasquatch doesn't exist either yet.
So yeah, it just like you said, goes to show what Gene Keady did. Laid the foundation. Matt Painter was able to kind of build off of that. And it just, when you're able to kind of look past the colors of school flies and whatnot, because when you're an IU fan and you go to Purdue, all you can see is, black and gold and a logo that you've hated your entire life. And
Correct.
when you're able to
Yes.
look past that and you have this culture aspect that you choose, and then it ends up making such an impact on you that you literally coach your entire career primarily there. And he's been there, what, 20 years?
Yep.
Like, that says a lot about what that program has done. And yeah, I think that's another key piece of evidence, if you will, to where this program's at.
Yeah, Coach Keady, he had some lean years, but so is Matt Painter. He's had the same, uh, some lean years in there, and now we're getting to the point where all some of those lean years are turning into year in and year out. We're having a good, productive season, not necessarily national championship contender, but even last year, 24-12, that's a pretty darn good year, especially after what left Purdue after that point, and then the injuries and stuff. So that was a lean year here recently. Is a 24-12 season where they went through a 5-game losing streak and lost 7 of 9, and it was just it was not there were some stumbles, and that right now, if you look other than the FDU loss, it hasn't really been a lean year, for very recently. A lot of good years, and we have Coach Keady to thank for that, because of that, and he had a couple of opportunities. He had, I think, maybe 3 or 4 really good opportunities to go to the Final Four and just couldn't get it done. That's March, that's unfortunate, and that's March, but Coach Painter, I think the fact that he he grew up loving IU, and then has turned into a Boilermaker man, and gosh, I'm so glad, because you know what, I really like the work ethic that he and his coaching staff puts forward. It makes me proud to say that I am a Purdue fan.
Yeah, I mean, I remember after the FDU game, like, and it just felt, how is this ever going to happen? It feels like the higher we get, the farther we fall.
Mm-hmm.
But being able to respond the way that they did, you bring Zach Edey back for another year. This whole season they were on a mission and had obviously probably the best season in the history of the program. And then to keep it going,
All right.
last year they lost their first non-conference game regular season since like 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
but they only lost, I think, they lost 2 or 3, but they were all ranked opponents. um
Marquette, Auburn, and I think that was it, wasn't it?
A&M, I think, in
Oh
Indy.
yeah, A&M. You're right.
But either way, none of them were at home, and
No.
they were all good teams. They were 2 SECs at Big East, so yeah, a lean year, if you will, and now they're back the next year with a chance to do even better and have an even better season than what they had in 2024. So, yeah, you just can't say enough about where this program's at.
Yeah, it's pretty fun to see the development. There was a little bit of news that just came out on Thursday, Grant, and it doesn't directly. I would say would not directly affect Purdue with the announcement itself, but I kind of wanted to talk about what the what some residual effects might be. But the top basketball recruit for 2027, Babatunde Oladotan, the number one high school player on ESPN's class of 27. He's reclassifying to be in the class of 26. So he is a senior this year now. And so he had a really good summer season. And so he's reclassifying so he can hit the college level this after this basketball season. Purdue's not on the ones that are mentioned in the article, at least. I don't know that even Purdue would be involved in them anyways, or with him anyways, Grant. But what do you see as maybe this being some residual effects, that there might be some trickle down of all of a sudden he starts bumping some of these same positioned scholarship offers down, and they start falling down a little bit to other schools?
Right, I think you said at one point he was a 6'9" power forward.
Yes.
Obviously, Purdue loves going after their big guys and has already offered several between some 7-footers, some just guys in the 6'9" to 6'11" range as power forwards. Like they are going after those guys. And like you said, there could be a trickle down because now your guys that we're looking at, maybe third or fourth best forward in the country as far as their recruiting rankings are going to fall to fifth and they're going to keep moving down. So Purdue, who might be in a battle with a team like Alabama for a certain recruit, well, maybe Alabama's going after another guy who is at fifth in the power forward rankings.
Mm-hmm.
They are able to get him because, a different school like Duke gets this guy.
Right.
And now Alabama's not going to get that other kid, but Purdue is also fighting for, and they end up getting that guy. Or in any number of scenarios like that where the schools Purdue is competing with for these recruits get higher recruits because this guy reclassified, and allows Purdue then to sneak in there and just kind of clean up
Mm-hmm.
on a recruit they were really wanting to get anyway and saw a lot of potential in a gem in the rough, if you will, and now they kind of are able to just have a little bit more comfort or a little bit more security in being able to get these guys. And the more of those kind of guys Purdue can get in their program, every time I feel like um, they're just getting more and more consistent with finding those guys because they learn every single year and with every new guy, and they're just going to keep getting better at finding those guys.
Yeah. Yeah. And uh, Purdue's also been included in some final or some shortening of lists, I guess is the best way to put it. I believe Bo Ogden has narrowed it down to 3, or no, I'm sorry, that's Bass Jr. I don't remember his first name, but he's a forward out of Louisiana. He's got Purdue, LSU, and I forget the third one, but Purdue is in his top 3. He's a 4-star recruit out of Louisiana. Bo Ogden still has him in the top 7, I think, maybe 6. But what I saw about him was 24/7 Sports has actually given Purdue a 50% chance, which is far and above more than the other candidates in his top 5 list. So with Texas only at a 1.2%. So I really wonder how accurate it is, or maybe they know something that other people aren't saying, that maybe he doesn't want to go to Texas. I don't know, but Texas is in his top 6. So but very small chance for Texas, which is odd because his dad's the general manager there.
Yeah, that is odd. But yeah, sometimes there's just You want to maybe go somewhere, try something different, and
I already live in Austin. I don't want to go to school there too. Maybe I don't know.
yeah, sometimes you just never really know when it comes to these recruitments. But yeah, it's really good for Purdue. I agree. I feel like every time you see, one of the recruits is shortening lists, Purdue just
Hmm.
stays in there. And
Hmm.
so next thing you know, they're going to have five guys and Purdue's in their top three. And do you do the math, they're probably going to end up with at least two or three of those guys. And they can build this recruiting class that's going to supplement for Fletcher Lawyer, Braden Smith,
Right.
Kaufman Wren, Oscar Clough, all those guys. So, but yeah, definitely looking good from a recruiting standpoint at the moment.
Well, I know that Purdue was also included on Arafan Diane's top 12 at this point. Has included Purdue in his top 12. He is the 7-footer that plays in Iowa, in the state of Iowa, for a preparatory school that he's the number one center for 2026. But one last one before we get going, Grant. Uh, Purdue is actually also uh, offered extended an offer to 7-foot center Sinan Huan. I believe he's a Chinese from China. He's at Georgetown Prep right now, but he has been offered by Purdue as well. Says that, let's see here, he played for China in the FIBA U19, averaged 11.3 points, 4.6 rebounds. Monster at the rim, blocking 5 shots per game. So,
Okay.
a big young man from China, getting the extended an offer from Purdue as well.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I think especially the rim protection sounds amazing to me because I feel
Yeah,
like Purdue typically, like, they'll go with the guards like Braden Smith, Fletcher Lawyer, but they aren't always great at staying in front of ball handlers, and having rim protection like what Zach Edey was really helped out the defense quite a bit. It's what we're hoping to get this year from Daniel Jacobson and even Oscar Clough. But I'm always happy to see recruits and guys that Purdue has coming in that know how to block shots.
so that's including it says Huan is ranked 74th overall for 2026 class. He's also a top 10 center, receiving a 4-star ranking. He during this 2026 recruiting cycle, and this is where I was getting to this. I saw that and I wanted to talk about this. Coach Painter has extended 6 centers in the class. He's extended offers to 6 centers. So other than Huan, Ethan Taylor, Jamin Sundrup, Javante Floyd, Luigi Suigo, and Arafan Diani. So those 6 all have been offered for Coach Painter, and I assume, and I assume I'm right. I don't know. I can't say that I'm 100% right because I know for a fact, but I assume some of those offers will be rescinded once one, or if 2 decide they're gone, the other offers will be pulled off the table. That way, all of a sudden, we don't have 7 centers for 2026.
Yeah, that would be pretty crazy to have 6, 7-footers on your roster plus any of the other guys that Purdue
Right,
is
right.
able to retain. So, yeah, I would agree. I highly doubt that we see more than one or two of those guys probably that end up actually coming. But
Right.
the good news is they're gonna have one or two 7-footers on their team, I after once those guys come in. So, their whole 7-footer identity that they've kind of created isn't going anywhere. And to be honest, I'm happy with that. I like knowing that year in and year out, we're going to have some of the biggest players in the court
Hmm.
for rebounding, scoring, shot blocking, all that good stuff.
Well, and take it for what it is, but look at it this way: he's offered 6 4-star or higher centers. So if one of them commits, guess what? We're looking at they have a 4-star recruit at center coming in. He's over 7 foot tall. That means the pedigree, if it pans out, the pedigree is getting a little bit better every year. And
Right.
so That still means Coach Painter and the crew can go and find somebody that's maybe not a 4 or 5 star and turn them into a 4 or 5 star that sticks around, uh, you know, equivalent to 4 or 5 star that sticks around West Lafayette for a few years and brings in wins and helps keep that culture going as strong.
Yeah, retention obviously a huge thing for Purdue. So that'll be a lot of fun to keep track of. And sometimes it's just like if you can turn Zach Edey, who's a like 3-star, way lowly rated recruit, and turn him into a 2-time National Player of the Year, it makes you think, well, what can we do with a crop of 4 stars that should theoretically be in a better place by this point? I know it doesn't obviously work that way, but
they're not going to stick around for 4 years. We know that probably.
right. So there's just still, even just with these 4 stars, it sounds like there's a lot of potential for what the Purdue coaching staff can do.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Well, that brings us to the end of this week's Boilermaker Lounge. Not a lot of hard hitting news, Grant, but really a good conversation had about our guy our guy that represents the university and basketball team and does a really good job at it with Coach Painter.
Yeah, it's super happy to have him as our coach. Really, no one that I think you could rather have with all the different things that make up who he is, with his coaching talent, but also just the way that he leads his team. So, looking forward to what he has in store.
And we didn't even mention the article that came out that talked about what kept him at Purdue back in 2010 when Missouri came knocking, and he strongly considered going to Missouri, but that rivalry against IU, he said that he would never be able to go into Bloomington and beat IU as the coach of Purdue, and that really bothered him. So it helped him stick around in West Lafayette. And you know what? We're seeing the benefits of that because once you get a good coach, you want to keep him around, and one that does the right things, you want to keep him around for as long as he wants to stay. And I'm glad he recognized that and thought, you know what? This is really special. Let's stay and do it.
Yeah, who knows where they'd be without with if he had left. Like, what on earth would have happened these last 15 years? So, super grateful we don't know.
That's
Super
right.
grateful that we can,
That's right.
yeah, we can experience what we've had to experience these last 15 years. It's crazy. It's been 15 years since then.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us on Boilermaker Lounge. For Grant Flora, I'm Sam Sprunger. We'll see you next week.